Good day everyone, I am Wendy El Orot. This is my video presentation. Other law enforcement agencies, bureaus, offices, departments of the governments. First is the PDEA, or Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency is responsible for efficient law enforcement of all provisions on any dangerous drugs or precursors and essential chemicals. The function of PDEA is that they suppress the supply of dangerous drugs, implements dangerous drugs, controls and regulates the legitimate use of dangerous drugs and controlled precursors and essential chemicals, supervise the anti-drug activities of the drug law enforcement agencies, coordinates the participation of the stakeholders in the anti-drug campaign. Next is Bureau of Customs. The Bureau of Customs is a Philippine government agency under the Department of Finance. The function of Bureau of Customs is that they supervise and control all important and export cargoes landed or stored in piers, airports, terminal facilities, including container yards and freight stations, for the protection of government revenue, exercise exclusive original jurisdiction over seizure and forfeiture cases under the Tariff and Customs Law. Next is the Bureau of Fire Protection or BFP. The Bureau of Fire Protection is the government body in the Philippines responsible for the provision of fire services. It is under the jurisdiction of the Department of the Interior and local government. The function of BFP is that they are responsible for ensuring public safety through the prevention or suppression of all destructive fires on buildings, houses, and other similar structure. Next is the Philippine Coast Guard. The Philippine Coast Guard is the country's vanguard against the entry of unsafe foreign vessels into the country through its port state control. Further, the Philippine Coast Guard is also responsible in issuing permits and supervises all marine salvage operations. The function of Philippine Coast Guard is mandated and responsible to perform maritime search and rescue, maritime law enforcement, maritime safety, marine environmental protection, and maritime security. The next is the Bureau of Internal Revenue. The, the Bureau of Internal Revenue is an agency of Department of Finance. BIR collected more than half of the total revenues of the government. The function of BIR is mandated by law to assess and collect all national and internal revenue taxes, fees, and charges, and to enforce all forfeitures, penalties, and fines connected therewith, including the execution of judgment in all cases decided in its favor by the Court of Tax Appeals. Next is the Commission on Election. The Commission on Election, or COMELEC, is an independent constitutional body mandated to enforce and administer all laws and regulations relative to the conduct of elections, plebiscite, initiative, referendum, and recall for the purpose of ensuring free, orderly, peaceful, and credible elections. The function of COMELEC is the premier guardian of the ballot. Its principal role is to enforce and administer all laws and regulations relative to the conduct of elections, plebiscites, initiatives, referendums, and recalls. Next is the Philippine Ports Authority. The PPA is the primary government agency concerned with the planning and development of the country's seaports. The function of PPA is that it is responsible for financing, management, and operations of public ports throughout the Philippines, except the Port of Cebu, which is under the Cebu Ports. Next is the Anti-Money Laundering Council. The Anti-Money Laundering Council is the agency of the government of the Philippines that is tasked to implement the provisions of Republic Act number 9160. The function of Anti-Money Laundering Council is that they are authorized to inquire into or examine any particular bank deposits or investments that are deemed related to an unlawful activity or a money laundering offense. Next is the Bureau of Immigration. The Bureau of Immigration or BI is principally responsible for the administration and enforcement of immigration, citizenship, and allied admission and registration laws in accordance with the provisions of the Philippine Immigration Act of 1940. The function of Bureau of Immigration was given the sole authority to enforce and administer immigration and foreign nationals registration laws including the admission, registration, exclusion, and deportation and repatriation of foreign nationals. Next is the Land Transportation Office. The Transportation Office is an agency of the Philippine government under the Department of Transportation responsible for all land transportation in the Philippines. The function of Land Transportation Office is that include the inspection and registration of motor vehicles, issuance of licenses and permits, enforcement of land transportation rules and regulations, and adjudication of traffic cases. Next is the Public Attorney's Office or PAO. The Public Attorney's Office is an attached agency of the Department of Justice which provides indigent litigants free legal assistance mandate to provide indigent sector access to counsel at the time of need. The function of PAO shall independently discharge its mandate to render free of charge legal representation, assistance, and counseling to indigent persons in criminal, civil, labor, administrative, and other quasi-judicial cases. Next is the Office of Alternative Dispute Resolution. The alternative dispute resolution is the procedure for settling disputes without litigation, such as arbitration, mediation, or negotiation. The function of OADR is that to assist the government to monitor, study, and evaluate the use by the public and private sector of ADR and to recommend to Congress needful statutory changes to develop, strengthen, and improve ADR practices in accordance with world standards. Next is DILG or Department of the Interior and Local Government. The Department of the Interior and Local Government is the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for promoting peace and order, ensuring public safety. The function of DILG is that promotes it promotes peace and order, ensures public safety, and strengthens local government capability to effectively deliver basic services to the citizens. Next is the National Bureau of Investigation. The National Bureau of Investigation is a line agency under the Department of Justice and serves as the premier investigative agency of government. The National of the National Bureau of Investigation undertakes efficient detection and investigation of crimes and other offenses against the laws of the Philippines upon its own initiative and as public interest may require, renders technical assistance upon request in the investigation and detection of crimes. And last is the Philippine National Police or PNP. The Philippine National Police is tasked with enforcing the law to prevent and control crimes, maintain peace and order, and ensure public safety and internal security with the active support of the community. The function of PNP is that to investigate any complaint about the commission of a crime. That's all. Thank you.